Well, I know you have to go soon. So my final question is, here we are in the middle of the coronavirus epidemic. And we have a situation, from what I understand, that DC did not get the money that it was supposed to get. And from what I'm hearing, it was because you actually supported Bloomberg during his run. And this is somewhat of a retaliation. Would that be fair from Trump?
I've never heard that.
Okay,
I've never
that's what I
heard
heard.
that. And actually, it's in the hands of the Congress, not Trump. So we need the Democrats and Republicans in the Senate and in the House to make sure that DC is treated like it's always treated for federal funding, for education, for housing, you name it. We're treated as the state for federal funding. And so whatever comes out of the Congress, that needs to be fixed. Now, President Trump can do something in the meantime. He can talk to his Treasury Secretary to make sure that the money that's missing, over $700 million that's missing, comes to DC from the Treasury. But the Congress still needs to fix this reference to DC as a territory.
You're overseeing the worst catastrophe in the last 100 years.
Yep.
How bad has it gotten for you personally to try to deal with so many people that are getting sick, people dying? You know, you just announced that there's the first death in one of the jails in DC. Unbelievable numbers of people are unemployed. Businesses are going out of business. The $1,200 stimulus check is not enough for people to just get by. How bad have things really gotten in DC from your point of view?
Well, it's just sad. It's incredibly sad. So I think you started off talking about this initially. Like we went into this pandemic with a bustling economy. I mean, booming. Restaurants opening, businesses opening, people employed, great theater, great arts, great sports and entertainment, and a pretty low unemployment rate compared to 5 years ago when I became mayor. And all of that stopped in an instant. It's like inducing a coma to save yourself. And that's what stay-at-home orders do. Closing down businesses do. It puts your economy in a coma, and gives your medical apparatus a chance to deal with people who will get sick. And that's what we've been doing and trying to contain the spread of this virus. So I think initially I was just really sad for everybody who lost their jobs, who had great businesses that they had to close. Those were the first impacts. And then we saw people starting to get infected and sick, and the anxiety that all of that has created among African Americans who are disproportionately affected by this disease, especially in DC, and the medical communities or who are concerned about workers and PPE. So all of that. So the bottom line to your question is our budget has been dinged by $600 million this year. We have over 60,000 people applying for unemployment. That is way more than applied for unemployment in all of last year, just in the last 6 weeks. And we don't know how many of those businesses are going to be able to make it back. So that is when we start talking about how we bring the economy back, we have all of those things in mind, while at the same time trying to manage this virus that doesn't have any treatment or a vaccine and limited testing available. So there's a lot for us to consider in getting our economy back. But the bottom line, I want people to go back to work. I want kids to go back to school, number one on my list. But we have to do it in a way that's safe.
I mean, certain mayors are starting to talk about a program to open businesses back up, open schools back up, and so forth. Do you have something like that in mind that you've announced yet or are planning, or not so much?
We are in a planning stages of figuring out how we can slowly turn the spigot on. And I think that's how we should think about it. We won't be able to flip a switch and go back to normal, but we have to slowly be able to add activities in our economy while being able to monitor the health of our residents.
I feel you. Well, you have a very tough job ahead.
Thank you, Vlad.
And it seems like you're doing a great job.
All right. It's been great chatting with you. We'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Peace.